After DOA made it big.
So okay, well let's talk about that. I was gonna
No,
start
no.
asking-
If the band was halfway successful and energetic and ambitious, or to want to play their music, they would get on the road and tour forever. So a lot of times, like DOA, you wouldn't see them for months and months.
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah.
But every show we could, as the Germans saying, "Ich hatte einen Kamerad," old wartime song.
Well,
Stalingrad.
Well, the reason why I asked that is because I find that like over the last 30 years, people have come and gone and come back and gone back out of my life, and I think you as a musician, obviously, and a person who actually enjoys a certain amount of maybe, let's say, notoriety in the scene, people would be seeking you and then looking to find you and talk to you and play with you, things like that. But also, is there a cohesive unit? Like, do you lose? Have you lost like all your friends from that point in time, or do you still talk to 20% of them, or are you on Facebook?
I don't talk to anybody. I'm really depressed. I haven't written for a while, and I'm old, not liking it.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I jump across the desk and tell you that A, you're full of shit, and B, I love you.
Full of shit?
I love
What do
your
you mean?
stuff. Well, you can't. You don't understand.
No, I don't.
Your body of work actually has been a big part of a lot of people.
Yeah, but for an
enjoying
artist,
their
if when
lives,
you're not creating, the last song is the best song, right?
well, and all I can say is get out there and make something.
Yeah, that's what
Right.
Mr. Bukowski said.
Well, there you go. Actually,
But
Philip.
of course, James Cameron says that too, and I hate that.
Is he a drummer?
The director.
I know.
You know. I know you
All
know.
those directors.
Anyway,
Okay.
I just wanted to say
No, but-
something. Can I say something really quickly about the scene? Because I think that one of the things that, particularly for an audience that's going to be going to the Hi-Fi tonight, right? This audience is going to be a lot younger than our group. And one of the things that we talk about, I guess, or one of the themes is that the element of any scene is that it's somewhat unaware of itself when it's being its most creative,
Mhm.
right? And then as soon as those levels of awareness start to happen, and people start to look for their own kind, and we call it being codified, then things will just inevitably draw to an end. And
Right.
and that theme is definitely addressed in this particular film. And when you say it's a punk film, I mean, that can be a bit of a misnomer for people who are young today, because they think of punk and they think of a certain look, they think of a certain hardcore sound and so forth. But certainly at the time, I think the music referred to as punk was really much more eclectic and inclusive of certainly of the gay community and the art community, and whatever outsider community there was in a small town environment.
Yeah, it was every outsider.
And that's an important.
Well, I can.
Person from everywhere you can imagine, from hobos to derelicts to gays to artists, and they didn't spend 5 hours in front of the mirror. Maybe some of the guys did, but they stick their head in a ditch and rattle their hair around, and then come out looking like survivors of Auschwitz. Really.
Well, I can see that there was a certain amount of cultural crossings and such, because even here, I know that there was dancers, there were artists, there was people interested in music, and by and large, the people that were in bands actually were probably from art school or from some other creative community, as much as any other.
Yeah, I stayed in Calgary quite a few times in the 80s, or 80s, 90s. I remember one of my favorite names of a band was The Curse of Horseflesh, and I thought the whole sort of nugget of bands that were around that kind of demented, Matt Masters has kind of got that demented country thing, kind of grungy country, was a precursor of a lot of scenes that they weren't given credit for, actually.
I did. This is sort of a left turn here, but I took a call, and the caller actually wanted to know if anybody knows what happened to Chris Houston.
Yeah, he went back to Hamilton and lives there now, I believe. His mother was very, very sick, and he went back to take care of her. And I think She might have passed on.
He-
Now he's got to take care of her
It
house.
was Hate-Filled Man, I think was his album.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
Do
Yeah,
you
I-
have
I came
surfing?
with-
Do you have surfing on heroin here?
Oh.
Well, you know, I probably do. I know that I would have, you know, the Forgotten Rebels.
Oh,
But I remember
no.
that his album, Chris Houston's album, actually came with a piece of AstroTurf as the cover.
Oh,
insert.
really?
Yeah. It was,
Which
maybe,
album?
Maybe a Hate-Filled Man. But maybe I got the fancy one.
But
Who knows?
do you not know him, his music, was past surfing on heroin?
Well,
I don't.
he-
I didn't follow a lot of.
Because
Chris
he
Houston.
has developed, I mean, he's got one song called Locusts that kills that little novelty number you talked about earlier. Locusts, locusts.
See, I love how this can. See, this is how my show generally goes. Actually, it's a lot of left turns because I love taking calls from people. Not that I'm lazy, but I really love the input, and then stuff like this happens. So anyway, look. Actually, we do have some DVD copies of Bloodied but Unbowed to give away.
Just two, autographed by Art.
That's right.
If you've got a white pen.
So tell you what, I'm gonna throw some more music on, and while the music is playing, we'll entertain some phone calls. If you feel inclined, you can call us here at 403-220-3991. And oh, look at that, phone's ringing already. Keep it up, kids. I love red lights. And then we'll get back to more
You've got
music.
listeners.
And I've got mail. Awesome. Okay, listen to this. Oh, you could have brought a lot more in.
Oh my God! It's all.
Hello, CJSW.
What's all that lines going?
Floor lines are all lit
You're
up.
looking for
Flash your lights.
DVD? Can I get your name and phone number? Sorry, what was that?
Good, that's good.
YATES. And what's your phone number?
She's got more.
835-4763. Okay, this is pretty off the cuff, so we'll figure out a way of getting you this DVD, okay?
Come down to the hi-fi. Pick it
Is
up.
this like a home number or work number? Cool. Okay, awesome. Then we'll contact you and let you know what's going on, okay? Sweet. Awesome. Thanks, man. Bye. Oh, God. Okay.
Look at them all.
Hello, CJSW. Yeah, you're on. I can definitely hook you up with one. I'm just gonna get your name and phone number, and then we'll figure out a way of getting it to you. Okay? What's your name? Lyle? And last name? Okay.
Yeah, I'm really used to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Oh, you can't hear it. Hear the song.
334. 9735. Awesome. Oh, we're just having fun. But thanks for listening. Appreciate it. All right, bye-bye.
Wow. Where was this recorded?
Oh, the DVD?
No, I just wanted, she knew.
Do you keep on answering those lines, or do you just let them ride?
Well, I'm gonna have to pay attention to what I'm doing here, but
Okay.
these are dead, actually. All right, there you got some Tim Ray there for you from actually last call, Vancouver Independent Music, 1977 to 1988. I remember actually being lucky enough to stumble across that CD compilation probably about 20 years ago, and it makes me happy knowing that Zulu Records is still in business.
20 years ago, that would be 92.
Yeah, it was a while back.
Who else
Well,
is celebrating anniversaries?
Well,
92. Oh, Rio. They're trying to. They signed another deal. They're gonna pollute the earth for another while longer.
well, there we go.
Yeah.
Man,
Everybody's gone home.
I think we are gonna have to sit down and do some talking sometime, Art. Okay.
Well, you're coming to the hi-fi tonight.
Yeah, man, I just hope my boss isn't listening because I'm not going to be pretty tomorrow morning. Okay, so, right, Bloodied but Unbowed. We've been talking a little bit about Vancouver and music in general and things like that. When I was trying to put together a show today, and I was trying to think of what I really enjoyed and what I'd want to listen to. Of course, I was thinking about all the bands you were in and what I'd want to play. And it's funny that when I asked, because I asked Art, sorry, I don't want to talk to me in third person, but I asked you, okay, he's my broadcast lot, this is a football game, that, you know, what you want to hear, and you come up with Tim Ray, and you come up with the Secret Bees, and I think that's exceptional, because a lot of people are self-promoters. Now, I know you sort of have to have an element of self-promotion to actually be in the business, but,
Okay,
I-
well,
I-
I'd
you
say
know.
play a song of mine, I don't know, from 1995, but,
Well, what I'm saying is that I think it's great that you came in here and actually want to hear somebody else's stuff.
oh,
You
well,
know? I mean, I could easily play Hawaii. Believe it or not, when I was a kid, and I was like at the time when Hawaii, like when that EP came out.
so you were 14?
No, I was more like about 18 or 19.
Oh,
You were born in 62.
61, but not that it matters, kids. I'm really, yeah, but I actually.
Well, it legitimizes you at your age.
Well, yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Just being there doesn't necessarily make it there, but
Fair enough.
the thing is for me, I love that album, and just because it was so out there, a little over the top. I actually sat down in the studio and recorded it on a spool of tape, and with a razor blade, cut out all the little F-bombs in it, right? So that, and then inserted tape, so that we could actually play it without, you know,
wow,
it was self-censorship. I know it's all wrong, it's not very punk rock, but
you had to do it,
I had to do it.
That's exceptional.
It did take me a couple hours.
good, wow.
But anyway.
Where was that, for what station, this one?
Oh, this one, yeah. They can't get rid of me. They're gonna carry me out on a door.
Bombs weren't allowed?
Well, no, believe it or not, we sort of self-monitored ourselves pretty good in those days. And like I say, the city only had 500,000 people in it. It wasn't quite as cosmopolitan as it is today. No. But anyway.
There is
your
a lot
mayor
of,
there.
I
But,
was gonna say there's a lot of language in this film.
well, of course it is. But that was something too, is looking just on the list of songs, it wasn't so much the shock value, I think, but just the ability to express oneself as brightly and brilliantly as possible. If that meant using profanity or whatever the words of the day were, I think that was one of the liberating things of music at that
Yeah,
time.
it was a great chorus, and
Like, you
actually
didn't
written
hear-
by a friend of mine, actually.
Well, you didn't hear Chilliwack basically saying, let's go to fucking Las Vegas,
No.
right?
Yeah,
But they probably wanted to write a song like that.
everybody wanted to.
You did. So anyway, we got some DVDs we handed out. We know the movie's happening.
They're gone, they didn't have to answer a question?
Well, no, I just asked them their names. Now I gotta figure out some great way of getting them their DVDs, but.
Well, they have to pick them up.
Oh, I know.
Pick 'em up at the show.
Better than that, actually, I completely almost lost my mind because I do have some spinning wheels up here, but you can buy the DVD from the website.
Well, you can go to thepunkmovie.com,
Yeah.
click buy the DVD, and you can actually buy it
Yeah.
along with a skateboard and a t-shirt or whatever. I mean, it's kind of a low, it's a little bit under the radar merchandising concept because we don't really have a distributor, we're doing this ourselves. And this particular DVD has a Japanese subtitle track on it because we are anticipating a big tour in Japan in September.
Cool.
So just to sort of economize on everything, we bundled it all in one.
Yeah, a month-long run on,
Yeah.
in the Ginza.
Yeah,
on the
yeah, we've
Ginza.
got a month-long booking in Tokyo.
See, things are definitely rolling along. So that's
Pretty
good.
unbelievable.
And so the idea, yeah, I'm gonna shill your stuff. Go online, thepunkmovie.com. It's not necessarily like this movie, as you say, is not necessarily just a punk music movie, obviously. But there you go, thepunkmovie.com. You can buy stuff. You can check it out. There's all kinds of reviews in there, all kinds of updates on the blog. I was reading one that I kind of wanted to actually read on the air as a description because it seemed absolutely fantastic. Now, where did I put it?
Was it the Montreal Mirror? one?
Actually, the one from BigTakeover.com.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and but anyway, look, you get on that website, you can read all these reviews.
It's not worth
I
reading.
believe-
All right,
Why
now,
don't you read it?
is it too long?
Oh, well, what the hell, it's my show, what are they gonna do, kick me off? Okay, I'm gonna take these off though, I am 50. All right, it says, director Susanne Tabata says that she's been working on her documentary, Bloodied but Unbowed, for over 3 years, but from the look of it, Vancouver's first punk scene has been ready for its close-up for the last 30 years. The film, released on DVD December 1st, 2011, is made up of both reams of fascinating interview footage that has been shooting, that you've been shooting since 2008, and a treasure trove of period archival footage that come from early music videos, cable access shows, Hollywood feature films, amateur film enthusiasts, art students, and the like. It says it's difficult to imagine any other North American late 70s, early 80s punk scene would have anywhere near this quantity and quality of footage.
And on a point of fact, no other scene does.
Yeah, well, that's what always amazed me. Like I said, at that point in time, we all kind of laughed, we were having a great time, but nobody thought of actually chronicling it.
People
So
at the time
it's-
did, fortunately, yeah.
Yeah,
Somebody,
well,
some people,
obviously.
one
You know,
woman
I-
who just died recently, Lenore Herb, actually went to just about every show and videotaped.
Wow, that's crazy.
There were 20 contributors to this.
20?
20 people whose moving images, 7 stills photographer,
Yeah,
and
there's-
1 cartoonist.
Yeah, and actually, if you're interested on the website.
Somebody
there's-
asked me the other day, that's how I know.
Who's the cartoonist?
Stuart Morris did a bunch of cartoons on Jerry Hanna's involvement with direct action.
Okay.
Like things like Kaboom.
Well, I've been,
I mean, you have to sort of know the story to find that funny, you know. But
wow. Well, it has
They
been.
blew up hydro towers and Lytton Industries, talking
Oh,
about
that's
more
right.
kudos to them.
yeah,
remember
I mean, the other thing that gets touched on in this film, and it never gets put in print in Canadian press, it's only been addressed by American press twice,
Mhm.
is the aspect of direct action and protest to the extreme, which has a lot of resonance with what's going on today all over the world. Without getting into detail, because we're talking about music, we do address it, and we do address the example that we had in Vancouver, which no other punk scene in the world had, which was the Squamish Five.
Yes. Okay, well, this is actually a wonderful afternoon for me. I'm thrilled, and I am,
More
because.
martyrs.
Yeah.
Martyrs. Or one.
And drummers.
Well, volunteers.
Drummers?
And-
No, just
more
kidding.
drummers.
If there's anything you'd like to close with, or anything you'd like to say about the movie before we move on, I've got a live band playing the scene in about 10 minutes.
Cool.
Which is pretty. I love the show today. It's great.
Who is it?
Misha and the Spanks.
Does
And-
Misha have a question for Art, maybe?
Well, she's not on.
No.
She hasn't got a microphone all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, I think
You can-
you gotta let him have the last word.
Is
Well-
Misha involved in the Festivus?
You mean in Sled?
Yeah.
I believe she is. Her band is playing.
Oh.
But I know that she's got a new album coming out, and she's going to be touring, and I thought it'd be pretty awesome to have her on here. And then if you guys are on here, it's like Christmas for me.
Okay.
You're
Well,
pretty
try and
Christmas.
stick around, but I think we have to run off and do
Yeah. Why don't you have a nice meal?
schmooze. Hey, you know a good Thai restaurant? You're on the way to High Five?
I can't plug a Thai restaurant.
Why?
No, actually, no. My wife knows all the restaurants. She just takes me around. That's
Okay.
awesome.
You just don't know.
Well, no, actually, there's all kinds of places. Don't worry, you'll
Yeah,
be fine.
okay.
You will be fine.
Right.
Thank you so much for coming in.
Thanks for having us here. And are you gonna be coming down tonight, or do you have small children at home?
Oh, I am the small child in my family, so
Ooh.
I guess it can happen. Do you know about what time the movie's scheduled to play?
7.
7.
Yeah. It plays 7. Yeah. I don't know why
That
so
is,
early.
that is early, by the way.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why is that? We don't know.
Well, there you go.
Because the first act doesn't play until 11, so there's a lot of downtime. So I guess they're gonna question us for 3 hours.
Yeah, there's
There's
a,
a Q&A?
there's a big Q&A, and it's going to be moderated by Glenn Alderson, who is
Be
the,
moderated by
he's the
me.
dude at Beetroot Magazine in Vancouver and here. I guess he's a
No,
dude.
Glenn.
And he did a great screening in Vancouver with us at the Astoria. It was very good. So he was sort of behind getting us into the festival here, and he's gonna provide a sort of a Q&A for both Art and myself. And I'm really excited that Art is part of this.
Blah, blah, blah.
Well, this is his first big Q&A, and I've done several of them. I'm not, I can answer a couple of questions, but this is a real opportunity for people that are interested
Well,
in hearing from the man.
actually, it's a good thing. I could devote another hour and 10 minutes to this, but I think I'm going to put some live music on. So everybody, I've had the pleasure of having Art Bergmann and Susanne Tabata in here to talk about Bloodied. but Unbowed.
What do your children think of you being younger than them?
Well, I don't know, actually, my niece and nephew seem to think I'm pretty cool, but I
Oh,
think
good.
that's just simply because I've worked in bars too. Anyway, you guys have a good meal. See you downtown at the Hi-Fi Club, and that's 1st Street and 10th Avenue for those that don't know where to go. And we're going to play a little bit more music here. This is a Vancouver band that I enjoyed an awful lot way back when. They're a little bit newer than Arts Vintage, but nevertheless they were fun. And listen to this, these guys are the Enigmas.
Oh, the Enigmas.
Ah,
Brain Dead.
Mr. McKenzie. Went to high school with him.
That was good.
Paul McKenzie.
Oh, I got the wrong one on.
This
but
is
it's
an
okay.
Enigmas.
No, I got the wrong one on. Oh, hello.
Someone's
Hello,
phoning to
Susanne
tell
Tabata.
you.
Who
You
is
don't
it?
have the Enigmas on.
What's that?
Someone's phoning to tell them.
What's that? I cut that with a razor
This
blade,
right.
bastard. I doubt it.
That's right.
Yeah, well, they're all 2.5 inches
I
long.
don't remember this.
Let me see. When did it come out?
88.
Yeah,
What the
I
hell's
remember
going
what
on
it looked like.
Yeah, we had
Okay.
yeah, a cover and a catalog and
Did Joey do
a story
this
on
Oh,
each.
really?
Got a little booklet.
Oh, you're crazy.
too? Who did this?
The Vancouver Complication? I thought it was
Not
what's the other
Complication.
company
You're
here?
gonna have to fight it over.
Last call, I don't know.
Okay, but
Really?
Yeah, we remember we went
Yes.
to a party on Richard Street, in that bar, Rosencrown.
Oh, yeah.
About the young lady.
Yes. Oh,
There's
that
Claire
was a
Hill.
weak party now.